Hello there and welcome to yet another Outward pre-release video where I try to gather information about a game that you might have missed and talk about a couple of specific topics. This time around we're going to talk about the 4 regions of Outward and the absence of quest marks. I cover action RPGs in general and I already made a couple of videos about Outward that you can check out here if you're interested, and be sure to subscribe because I plan to cover Outward in depth when it comes out on 26th of March. The World of Aurai looks like it was done with care, judging by all we could see from Outward videos so far. There are 4 different regions in the game and everything is hand placed with no procedural generation except the loot that you'll find. Chersonese, Enmerkar Forest, Hallowed Marsh and the Abrasar desert are those 4 regions we'll be able to explore in the game. All 4 of those zones look interesting and quite different from each other. From what was I able to see, some regions look like they have quite a bit of vertical exploration, which is always a big plus in my book. The game starts after you survive the shipwreck and you're naked, of course. Well, sort of. You start your adventure in Chersonese, mountainous area close to the sea. This zone looks really colorful and friendly, but don't let that fool you. Even though the enemies you'll encounter here are a little more forgiving, this zone can be dangerous for other reasons. The climate in this zone will change, and when the winter comes you'll have to be prepared for it. The CEO mentioned there will be a couple of trainers that you can find in this zone, and one of them is a hermit that teaches you certain magic skills, and the other trainer is a warrior that can teach you how to infuse elements in your weapons. We could see how one dungeon looked like from the stream, and even though they mentioned the enemies are a little bit forgiving in this area, the dungeon looked really challenging actually. Some architecture looked really interesting and unique, and purple seemed like a dominant color of this zone. Really nice to look at in general, and I can't wait to explore it. We got a nice look at the starting zone in this area, where you can pick up some basic clothes and your first backpack. I doubt that Chersonese is going to be an easy area, just a little bit easier than other zones because it's the starting area after all. Hallowed Marsh looks like a really unfriendly zone judging by all the enemies and the poisonous waters. It's probably a good idea to have a similar armor like this ash set and items for poison resist in general. The city of Monsoon can be found in this area and it looks really wonderful with lots of things going on. We know that one of the main 3 factions, Holy Mission, is stationed here and you can join them, allowing you to buy a house in this city. They resemble some kind of paladins and that's all we know so far about them. There are a couple of trainers here and one of them can teach you philosophy magic skills, while the other one is called Warrior Monk that can teach you some warrior skills and survival skills as well. Hallowed Marsh looks like a zone where you need to be really careful and prepared while exploring, or you're going to have a bad time here. Speaking about hostile zones, Abrasar Desert is probably the most hostile of all of the 4 zones in the game, judging by how harsh the weather is here. Extremely hot days and cold nights will require a good preparation if you want to have an easier experience here. It's advisable not to be in heavy plate armor here, since you're gonna hamper your stamina quite a bit. Of all of the zones so far, we know the least about Abrasar Desert, at least to my knowledge, and I don't want to make this into a pure speculation video. At least we know there is a cool looking dungeon here. Last but not least, we got Enmerkar Forest, a zone with temperate climate and challenging foes. Same as Abrasar Desert, I couldn't find that much info about this zone, but it looks to me like a tougher version of Chersonese with a bit flatter terrain. I personally adore forest areas in RPGs and I hope this one delivers because I have a feeling I'm going to hang around here the most, but we'll see. We're going to explore all of these zones with no clear indication of where we currently are on the map. Finding your position on the map can be done by looking at the landmarks. This might sound intimidating to some people, but I'm sure this won't be a big problem since Outward maps are without a doubt designed around this. There's no quest marks as well. This is a very bold decision to make because open world RPGs of today are showering you with mini-maps and precise locations where you need to go to do a quest. Like I said, the world needs to be designed around this in order for it to work. This was quite normal in older RPGs, but I hope this doesn't intimidate some players who are not used to this approach. Outward can turn out to be a good modern take on an old school world design with no magic quest marks and challenging gameplay. We won't need to wait for much longer since 26th of March is just around the corner. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more content about this game, and I'm planning to make more in-depth videos when the game comes out. My channel is based around action RPGs in general, so I hope that everyone who shares the love for this type of games can find something interesting here. If you want to support the channel in the long run, check out my Patreon, all of the links are in the description. See ya in the next one.